Hello, Cryptonauts, and welcome back to another episode of Cryptocurrency Chat. I am your host, Blockchain John, with my co-hosts Jake Jabarelli and Cryptonaut Mike. How's it going, Mike?
Pretty good, man.
Awesome. How was your week?
Oh, pretty great.
Awesome.
Loving what's going on with the market.
Yeah. Hopefully you're capitalizing on that, right? Hodl, hodl, hodl.
All day.
How about you, Jake? What's going on?
It's going pretty good, thanks, John. I've been thrilling with watching the market. It's been really amazing. The market has been up and down, and I'm watching a couple of coins I'm really interested in that are really taking over and moving up. We'll see that in the top 10. But before we get started here, this content is for entertainment purposes only. Any comments made by us, the hosts, or any guest on our show is not financial advice. Back to you, John.
Perfect. All right, let's get started with your top 10 daily stats. Starting off with Bitcoin settling at $59,984.25 with a 7-day loss of 10.6% and a market cap of $1.112 trillion. Number 2, Ethereum settling at $4,013.80 with a 7-day loss of 3.7% and a market cap of $473 billion. Number 3, Binance Coin settling at $456.52 with a 7-day loss of 9.3% and a market cap of $76 billion. Let's see here. Number 4, Tether settling at $1 with a 7-day gain of 0.3% and a market cap of $71 billion. Number 5, Cardano settling at $1.95 with a 7-day loss of 11.2% and a market cap of $62 billion. Number 6, Solana settling at $189.07 with a 7-day gain of 7.7% and a market cap of $56 billion. Number 7, XRP settling at $1.01 with a 7-day loss of 11.8% and a 7-day and a market cap of $47 billion. Number 8, Polkadot settling at $40.94 with a 7-day loss of 8.1% and a market cap of $42 billion. Number 9, Shiba Inu in the top 10. Wow, holy smokes. With a 7-day gain of 189.2%. Holy smokes in the past 7 days. Wowzas. A market cap of $42 billion. Number 10, USD coin settling at $1. Who cares about the 7-day gain? No gain, no loss. Market cap of $32 billion. Did I tell you guys? Shiba Inu is up nearly 200%. That is insane.
Yep. Yeah, it has actually gone up even in the last hour or two. Not actually hour or two, but I mean, the last 24 hours it's up 70%, but it just keeps gaining. I mean, it overtook USD Coin and Dogecoin and Terra and Avalanche and Chainlink. I did not see this coming, honestly. And I've been talking about the top 15 now, even in our top 10, for a while. It just passed everybody up and jumped down into the top 10.
Crazy, man. That's called the Elon Musk magic.
Yeah, what's our
market cap? Market cap is at $2.6 trillion, down by 3.7%. All right, let's go ahead. As a reminder, you guys, make sure you collect your daily candies. I actually think I forgot to do that yesterday. Oh, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. I got it. Here we go. I got it. 6 days in a row collecting candies. Make sure you collect your rewards as well.
So, if you guys like our content, please like and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, hit the notification bell as well. We post every Wednesday and Sunday. Check us out on Discord. We also have a Patreon page now. You can come and join and get extra credit, extra information, extra content that we're producing on regular. We may be releasing an NFT in the near future in that Patreon, so sign up for Patreon when you get a chance. And if you also want to support the platform in other ways, you can donate via Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance, or Basic Attention Token. All the links are in the description below.
All right, Mike, we're going to switch over to decrypt.co to get our daily news. Go ahead and give us the first one, please.
Yeah. So this article is from Jose Antonio Lanz, and it's El Salvador president buys the dip and adds 420 Bitcoin to the treasury, which is just awesome. The president and self-described Emperor of El Salvador has taken advantage of today's Bitcoin drop and increased his country's reserves. Blue? I'm not sure how to say his name. Anyways, the president announced today on Twitter in English that he had bought the Peruvial dip. BTC, which had reached an all-time high of 67,000 last week, fell to below 60,000 today, according to CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap and everywhere else that sells Bitcoin. The amount of Bitcoin he bought was the icing on the cake, 420. For those unfamiliar with the number, 420 is a meme number associated with the cannabis culture. El Salvador adopted Bitcoin as legal tender September 7th. Wow, that it feels like so long ago they did that, but that is only about 2 months ago. Not even. In the past 2 months, the president has ordered 4 BTC purchases for the country's coffers. According to Disruptia magazine's estimates, El Salvador bought 200 Bitcoin at $51,000 on September 6th, and another batch of 200 at $51,000 a day later. It purchased 150 Bitcoin at $52,000, and finally on September 19th, El Salvador bought the dip, acquiring 150 Bitcoin at $45,700. After raking up a portfolio of over 11 million in unrealized losses, the price of Bitcoin started to recover, reaching new highs. With this new purchase, El Salvador has started Bitcoin reserves to 1,120, an average price of 53,000.
53. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, 53,000. The price tag of Bitcoin is nearly 59,000. So they've definitely made some money.
That's crazy, man. You know, speaking of that, I did get a chance to test out the Chivo wallet, and for Americans, if you want to try the Chivo wallet, it's easy. Just go to your app market, download the Chivo wallet, get verified, AML KYC. Of course, the El Salvadorian government will have that on file, but you're allowed to send pretty much remittances through the crypto wallet, the Chivo wallet, to folks over in El Salvador. That's pretty cool, man. At a fraction of a price in comparison to something like Western Union. It's amazing. And on top of that, they're actually utilizing the Lightning Network. That is freaking awesome.
Continuing on, article by Matthew DeSalvo. Investment firm aims to launch a Bitcoin bear ETF. Yes, it's actually a bear. No, I'm just kidding. That shorts BTC futures. That's what bear means. It's going down. An exchange-traded fund, otherwise known as an ETF, that shorts the price of Bitcoin futures contracts might be available soon on Wall Street. Direction, that's misspelled, shares, ETF, trust. An ETF issuer yesterday applied to the SEC for an ETF. Can I say ETF more in this article? That would bet on the price of the biggest cryptocurrency going down, aptly named the bear, ETF. I say it obnoxiously from now on. An ETF is a popular investment tool traded on a stock exchange that lets people buy shares that represent a particular asset, sector, commodity, or security. The first ever U.S. Bitcoin-related ETF, ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF, started trading on the New York Stock Exchange last week. The futures ETF, remember, drink whenever I say this, which lets investors buy and sell shares that represent contracts betting on the price of Bitcoin, was hugely popular. It traded almost $1 billion in shares in its first day, which nearly broke the record for the Get Ready to Drink debuting ETF. Now, a number of investment companies are hoping to follow suit, and they are applying to the SEC for similar cryptocurrency-related, you know the word, ETF products. The SEC is expected to approve a number of future ETFs in the coming weeks, though not a spot-based product that directly tracks the price of the asset itself, which they really should be doing, according to John. But the Direction Shares Bear ETF would be unique because investors would be rewarded if the price of Bitcoin dips. It's only a matter of time, in our opinion, before one of these was filed, right? Bloomberg ETF research analyst James Seffert told Decrypt. It will reset every single day and perform the exact opposite of Bitcoin over time. He added, so essentially, if Bitcoin goes up 5% and trading one day, the ETF will return minus 5% and vice versa. The SEC application said that the fund will generally maintain its short exposure to Bitcoin futures during the periods in which the value of Bitcoin is flat or declining, as well as the periods during the periods in which the value of Bitcoin is rising. It added that the fund would not directly invest or hold Bitcoin. A Bitcoin, I'm not going to read anymore. There's just too much ETF crap in here. But yeah, ETFs.
ETFs.
But the point is that it's a shorting thing. It's going backwards versus going upwards. That's the reason they're getting the bear ETF.
That's interesting. The reason I keep mentioning that spot trading is the thing that we should all get into, especially when it comes to ETFs, is that when it comes to spot trading, and correct me if I'm wrong, but spot trading actually does touch real Bitcoin. Unlike futures, futures just tethers the Bitcoin number digitally, but doesn't actually purchase Bitcoin itself.
Yeah.
You know, everything's traded in fiat.
Right. It's the easy way if you don't know how to do Bitcoin. And a lot of people still don't, and they're scared of it, and they just want something safe to protect them from Bitcoin. So,
yeah. All right, let's move on over to the next article written by Jason Nilsson. WWE ties up with Fox Entertainment to go big on NFTs. Let's see here. Just in time for Survivor Series, WWE and Bento Box Entertainment announced today the launch of a new line of NFTs in a multi-year deal with Blockchain Creative Labs. Launched earlier this year by Fox Entertainment, Blockchain Creative Labs previously released an NFT line based on the popular singing competition, The Masked Singer, earlier this month. Like those NFTs, the WWE collectibles are also on the Illuvio blockchain. Never heard of it. In June, Fox Entertainment announced it had invested $100 million in its new blockchain division. The WWE NFT drop is the first one from the Blockchain Creative Labs. Let's see here. Oops, lost my spot. Creative Labs that is based on a property not owned by Fox Entertainment. The WWE entered into a 5-year media and broadcasting deal with Fox in 2018. An NFT is a unique type of token that can be used to represent ownership in a digital items. In this case, each of these tokens will be tied to an image of past and present WWE superstars, events like WrestleMania and SummerSlam, and other iconic moments. The NFTs will be listed on the WWE's NFT marketplace. Well, there you go. If you're into WWE, you want to get one of these rare collectibles, there you go. NFT, man. That's the future. All right, with that said, next news article is written by Jeff Benson. CFTC and SEC are vying for crypto regulation control. Okay. Mere days after a Bloomberg report suggested the Treasury Department was set to give the Securities and Exchange Commission the bulk of the responsibility over regulating stablecoins, its sister agency is making a play to be the primary cop on the beat for the whole crypto sector. Roasting Beckenham, acting chair of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission and President Biden's nominee to officially take over, requested that the Senate Committee on Agricultural, Nutrition, and Forestry give the CFTC more statutory power to regulate the digital asset sector. Let's scroll on down a bit here. Appearing before the committee as a part of his confirmation hearing, Beckenham said that the agency's recent enforcement action against the derivatives exchange BitMEX and stablecoin issuer Tether proved the agency has what it takes. However, he added, this is the tip of the iceberg, given that now $2.6 trillion crypto market cap, most of which he classified as commodities, raw or basic goods that can be traded on exchanges. Quote, I think it's important for the committee to consider expanding authority for the CFTC, Beckenham told committee chair Debbie Stabenow. While he acknowledged that this would certainly be a departure from our historical role as a derivatives regulator, he pointed to the rapid growth of the sector and potentially risk to both investors and financial stability. I think it's critically important to have a primary cop on the beat, Beckenham concluded, and certainly the CFTC is prepared to do that. if the committee so wishes. The Senate Agricultural Committee has jurisdiction over the CFTC. On Monday, Bloomberg reported that the SEC Chair Gary Gensler has lobbied the Treasury Department and the President's Working Group on Financial Markets, which he sits on along with Beckham and Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, for more authority over stablecoins, digital assets pegged to fiat currencies, according to the article. Gensler sought to clarify the SEC has existing power to oversee tokens which they're involved in investment transactions. It went on to say that the Treasury Department was prepared to let the SEC take lead on the $32 billion stablecoin market, with the CFTC also playing a role. Historically, the SEC and the CFTC have been the primary regulatory players in the digital asset space, with both filling overlapping roles. The SEC is responsible for regulating the trading of securities, assets that change hands with the expansion of future profits, but after refusing to classify either Bitcoin or Ethereum, the two largest crypto assets by market cap, as securities, much of the crypto space is in a regulatory dead zone. The CFTC has referred to Bitcoin as a commodity since 2015, but that doesn't actually mean that it has power to regulate the cryptocurrency. This August, CFTC Commissioner Don DeBerry Stump clarified that the agency isn't charged with regulating commodities, but with regulating derivatives based on those commodities, such as Bitcoin futures. For a number of years, the CFTC has aggressively used its broader enforcement authority to deter manipulation and fraud involving cash digital assets, even though the CFTC does not regulate them, Stump wrote. That's a point that Beckham touched on today. We've been one of the few cops on the beat because of limited statutory authority related to anti-fraud and anti-manipulation, he said. Now he wants Congress to add some weapons to the CFTC's arsenal. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think it's just more of the control factors. I'm not saying that CFTC is wrong. Ultimately, they're just trying to manage what they can. But the thing that they don't seem to understand is it's more of a voluntary thing. I get that they're trying to protect people from themselves and making sure they don't do things that are, basically a little bit make them lose all their money.
Yeah.
But I don't get that.
Yeah.
I don't get it either. But we live in California. We live in the babysitter state. So you'd think we know it better. I don't want to go into what's it called, conspiracy theory, because a lot of people say, well, it's the rich people trying to keep it down. It's like, I don't think so, because I feel like Bitcoin it's like anti-rich people, even though obviously a lot of rich people have Bitcoin. It's kind of the people's coin, and I don't want to sound like it's too communistic, but it's kind of the taking it away from the establishment. And what was the government trying to do but regulate the establishment? They're trying to make sure people don't get hurt. And I get the point. It just always goes further than they intend. And this is where, one time, in my opinion, they can't do what they think they need to do. Like, we need to protect people. No, you just let people themselves up. Remember when we tried to remove alcohol from people's hands? Remember what happened back in the 1930s? That was bad. Let's just not do that.
I mean, if they were trying to protect people, all those guys from Robin Hood and Citadel would be in jail. So I don't know.
Damn, that's a hard punch right there, man.
Not even, water's wet.
That's true, man. That's a true statement.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. Go ahead and
But moving on to the next article by Andrew Hayward. This is about Shiba Inu. Ethereum meme token SHIB flips Dogecoin as Bitcoin slumps. I heard this earlier today, and I was like, no way. But then I realized it was market cap, and that made a lot more sense.
Yep.
Shiba Inu was pegged by some as a Dogecoin knockoff when it first caught fire this past spring, but now the apprentice token could soon become the meme master. SHIB has launched into the top 10 coins by market cap and has now overtaken Doge on the list. Meanwhile, Bitcoin and much of the wider market are down today. Following a massive 45% spike in value over the past 24 hours, as per CoinGecko, Shiba Inu, an Ethereum-based token, is currently all-time high at a price of $0.0000685 per token. Over last week, SHIB has climbed to nearly 144%. But based off earlier, I think it was 189% now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, almost 200%. But yeah, it's ridiculously high.
Right now, that puts SHIB's current market cap at over 32 billion, but we know it's 42 billion. Great number, by the way. And ninth place on CoinGecko's list, reading that at the very beginning of this, it blew my mind. Did not see that coming. However, the market isn't showing a wider meme coin surge right now. Dogecoin is down more than 8% over the last 24 hours as price fell below 24 cents. That puts the market cap right around $32 billion.
8%.
If Shiba Inu continues to rise the way it has over the past 24 hours and Dogecoin can't match its upward momentum, then Shiba Inu may cement its place above Dogecoin by market cap, making it a premier meme coin in the crypto community market.
Yep.
Oh, 8%. Sorry.
But Shiba Inu actually has a market that you can, it's like Sushi Swap or they actually are doing something above and beyond what Dogecoin ever did. And Dogecoin was always a joke.
Well, Dogecoin, there was no purpose behind it other than just to be a meme. There was no use case in it.
Exactly.
There's still no use case behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, no, they're actually trying to do smart contracts on Doge now. So
Trying, just because you're trying doesn't mean it's happening.
I'm not saying they're doing it. They're trying. They're trying. They're like, oh, we should use this for something. Like, no, you shouldn't because it has no cap. Put a cap on it, then maybe. But yeah, I think SHIB's market total coin cap is $1 million billion, which is still pretty dang high. But
that's very ironic that Bitcoin, which is known for having a hard cap, their meme fork coin has no cap, whereas the Ethereum one, even though the number is ludicrous, there's actually a cap.
Mm-hmm. Somebody put a cap on that.
Shiba Inu, on the other hand, has seen a dramatic uptick in demand and value since early October, rising 828% over the last 30 days, as per CoinGecko. The coin launched on popular cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase in mid-September, but has experienced much larger gains just recently.
Wow.
The wider crypto market is down about 4% today, making Shiba Inu the real anomaly amidst slumps from top coins like Ethereum and Bitcoin. Overnight, Bitcoin fell beneath $60,000 for the first time in 10 days. I keep seeing this, like Bitcoin's under 60,000 for the first time in 10 days, as if that's like some kind of joke. Like, yeah, it's just been 10 days and it's under 60, even though a year ago it was like, what, 20,000?
Just a few months ago. Oh, yeah.
Somewhere around there. Anyways, yeah. It's down about 5% over the last 24 hours at current price of $59,000, $59,212. That's Bitcoin. Ethereum, meanwhile, is down 4% today, briefly dipped below the 4,000 mark, currently sitting at $4,018. I can't believe Ethereum's over $4,000 too. That just came out of nowhere.
That's just the beginning, man. Just the beginning.
It's going to go higher, and it's going to go much higher, in my opinion. But
yeah. Oh, dude, definitely.
It's I don't remember who it was. I had somebody come to me about the time I actually bought a little bit of SHIB. Just it's like, hey, it's funny, why not? And I thought it was a meme coin. I like meme coins, so I buy meme coins because they're funny. But not thinking it would ever be worth anything ever. I honestly did not care. But I did have a client come to me and say, hey, could you buy me a lot of SHIB? I was like, sure, yeah, we can buy you a lot of SHIB. How much you want? He's like, he wanted a lot, like way more than I thought. I'm like, why? He's like, this is gonna be worth something, man. It's gonna be worth something. I'm like, fine. No, he was right.
Nice.
I'm not gonna say how much it's worth now, but it's worth a ton more than he thought it was gonna be. So
nice, good move. At least there's some success there.
Yeah, somebody made money off this.
All right, let's get that next one, Jake.
Alrighty, so privacy blockchain putting up $100 million to compete with Zcash and Monero by Jeff Benson. You likely haven't heard of Findora, a private, unless you're on this channel, in which case you probably have, a privacy-centric blockchain that makes it possible for users to share information without showing it. But if its strategy pays off. The under-the-radar blockchain developed by Discrete Labs, they're very discreet, that's why you can't see them, could be in competition with well-known privacy coins such as Zcash and Monero. Today, it announced a $100 million ecosystem fund to be used for research, development of new applications, infrastructure such as staking and liquidity. The money to be deployed over the next 3 to 5 years or so comes from a mix of sources. The project raised 8 figures in a private funding round last year led by Polychain Capital. Some of that investment was in crypto assets, and the massive rise in market cap has helped stock Findora's treasury. A December public offering of its FRA token, not FINRA, added to that total. Part of Findora's value proposition is linking components of traditional finance with principles of privacy. Didn't we have something about privacy just last week? Whereas some privacy protocols, namely Zcash and Monero, prioritize anonymity over auditability. Two big words there. Findora uses selective disclosure agreements that allow for third-party audits. Moreover, Findora aims to bring the privacy features of those blockchains to a network modeled somewhat after Ethereum, a one-layer blockchain that people build upon. In fact, it integrated the Ethereum virtual machine for smart contracts back in September. Some people have said that it is a programmable form of Zcash. Discrete Labs VP, the product Warren Paul Anderson. Wow, that's a long name. Sorry. Product Warren Paul Anderson told Decrypt, or someone even said it's a more ethical form of Monero. And that's no knock to either one of those teams. They actually all run very similar technology. He added that Findora's research team created the bulletproof technology used on Monero. The programmability is a big step. Findora is looking to create decentralized applications, allow people to create their own tokens atop its blockchain, and put stablecoins in the mix. If that sounds like decentralized finance, you're right. Anderson is hoping to see decentralized exchanges, lending protocols, and payment applications on Findora as a result of the ecosystem fund. A bunch of tweets. If you can't read them, I'm sorry. Developers can apply for grants in the Findora Foundation to build platforms and protocols or platforms. And members of the Findora DAO will use their FRA to vote on which ones get funded. Validators can also apply for funding as the blockchain aims to gain users. FRA users are also in line for rewards. Findora is advertising annual rewards of as much as 250% for those who begin staking. Well, that's great. That sounds a lot like DeFi to me, which goes live on the mainnet today along with delegation. But before they rush in, potential stakers, validators, and developers should know that Findora isn't made up of anonymity maximalists. It's got its own philosophy. Here it comes. A big thing that we talk about is the difference between privacy and secrecy, Anderson said. So privacy means you don't want the world to know everything. Secrecy means you don't want anyone to know something. Findora is proud to support privacy, but it doesn't want its network to remain a secret anymore.
All right, time to get into Findora then, right? I want to check it out. I want that 250%. No.
Yeah, it would be nice to go back to that. When I was staking cake originally, it was up around those high levels, and now it's down under 100%. I mean, I'm not complaining. 75% APY is ridiculously high.
Mm-hmm. You won't get that with the banks, I'll tell you what.
No, you won't.
Definitely outside the box thinking for Pandora.
Yep.
Continuing on, we have another article from Scott Cipollina. Cream Finance suffers third hack, loses over $130 million.
Oh my God, again?
I feel sorry for them.
Cream Finance has been hacked, losing over $130 million. This marks the third time the DeFi protocol has been hacked. Cream Finance is a lending and borrowing protocol that runs on the Ethereum network. The attack, a flash loan identified by PeckShield Inc., resulted in mostly Cream tokens, Cream, being stolen. This is far from the first time the DeFi protocol has suffered a major attack. In February, hackers made off with $37.5 million in flash loan attacks tanking the price of cream by 30% in just 1 hour. Ouch. In August, cream was hacked all over again, with the protocol being involved in a multi-million-dollar exploit that resulted in an attacker making off with more than 418 million in AMP, the Flexa Network's native token, and approximately 1,300 Ethereum. At press time, Cream has again plummeted 28% following today's attack. The token is trading at $113.63 according to CoinGecko. Should I continue on? I think we got it, right? We understand that.
At this point, why are people using cream at this point?
Do not.
Exactly.
Yeah, please.
This was
for reinvesting into hacking. Like, well, this is going to be ours.
Ah, man.
This is the one where the guy who is head of Cream said after the last hack that he's going to report them to the IRS, right? If they don't return the money.
Right.
Or the funds. Yeah, dude.
Like, hey, you didn't pay your taxes. Like, hey, they just stole a bunch of money. I don't think they care about that.
Yep. Exactly right.
You tax dodgers, how dare you steal money?
I know. I think if for the last hack, it was a mistake. Like a lot of people who got paid on it weren't even actively trying to hack. It was just a mistake. Mm-hmm. And then before people could even return the money, the guy came out threatening all the people who got funds, which is just the worst PR I recall ever hearing.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
All right, Mike.
Okay, so this next article, also by Andrew Hayward, is Timbaland dropping Ethereum music NFTs that you can remix. That actually sounds pretty cool. So Timothy Timbaland Mosley is one of the defining producers of the last 25 years, known for his stuttering beats and lavish soundscapes for artists such as Aaliyah, Missy Elliott, Jay-Z, Justin Timberlake, and now he's launching his own music NFT. Timbaland also did that one song, Too Late to Apologize, right?
Not sure.
You know what I'm talking about? I don't know.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Launching on November 2nd, Timbaland's NFT collectibles are built around tracks of his upcoming EP titled Opera Noir. Each song from the EP has been split into a handful of individual elements, including beats, hooks, stems, which will be auctioned off individually as Ethereum NFTs. That's very interesting. I'm looking forward to see how that comes out. Ultimately, the collectors who amass at least two of the NFTs will be able to access a web-based mixing app, like a streamlined take on Apple's GarageBand, that lets them plug in the song components and manipulate them to create custom remixes.
That's cool, man.
That is pretty cool. Timbaland launched his own music mixing video game called Beaterator in 2009. But the Opera Noir NFT project injects ownerships into the equation as fans purchase and play with NFT collectibles. It's also a promotional effort for the upcoming EP release, and Timbaland told Decrypt that he's ever keen on new opportunities to connect with listeners. And that's pretty much it on that article.
It's a neat idea.
Yeah, super cool idea. We should definitely, on one of our Sunday episodes, follow up on that.
That song that you're talking about, Apologize, that is from Timbaland. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, great song.
What's the music mixing video game called?
I don't know. Fifth.
It's not Meterator, it's Beaterator.
Beaterator.
Beaterator. The kind of word you just want to say a lot, especially in mixed company.
That's a good first car name.
No, it's the second car. It's your second car. Your second car is always the Beaterator. I mean Beater, sorry.
Oh, no. All right. Who's next? Am I next?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, man. my eyes are watering. Next article written by Scott Chiplina. There's only room for 3 or 4 Bitcoin ETFs. Valkyrie Fund CIO. Yes, I remember this. Okay, cool. Steve McClurg, Chief Investment Officer of Valkyrie Fund, the company behind the Valkyrie Bitcoin Strategy ETF, said there's probably only room for a few U.S. Bitcoin futures ETFs. As it grows, there's probably only room for really 3 or 4 of us, he told CNBC during a recent interview. I think he's being overconfident on this. No. The Chicago Mercantile Exchange (CME) has limited issuers to 2,000 contracts for October and 4,000 for November. If the Bitcoin futures ETF space grows, said McClurg, I think the CME will extend those limits. McClurg emphasized that he was a pro-competition in the space, saying the best strategy is actually just open up the playing field and letting other ETF issuers in. Yeah.
Getting really drunk out here. We've already said ETF 5 times.
I know. Tracking Bitcoin, the Valkyrie Bitcoin Strategy ETF is a Bitcoin's future ETF, meaning that users don't receive shares backed by Bitcoin, but shares tied to the Bitcoin's future, contracts to buy Bitcoin at a later date. However, McClurg is not necessarily very worried about tracking Bitcoin's price. Future trading is regulated by the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. One of the most important aspects of that regulation is setting a limit on the number of future contracts that an issuer like Valkyrie can have per month. If the limit is exceeded, the futures ETF can buy future contracts for months in advance. This could, in theory, result in what is described as contango, when future prices are higher than the current price of the underlying asset. To avoid that, McClurg told CNBC that Valkyrie sticks with the front months and we show that we're tracking the futures really closely. Given current CME limits, McClurg noted, there's a lot of room for us and others to come into the space. You've already hit against those limits with 4,000 contracts in October, which means that you have to keep rolling out to the future months. So we're going to see others having more tracking error if they have to go to those other months. Rival Bitcoin futures ETF ProShares is seeking an exemption from trading limits. Its CEO, Michael Sapir, said the firm has filed for the exemption with the CME, as well as saying that ProShares will request permission to invest in other kinds of derivative contracts. Even though we're going up against the biggest ETF launch of all time and the firm that's already gathered $1.2 billion, I think we're going to do quite well, McClurg added, speaking on the prehistoric ProShares ETF debut that almost saw $1 million traded on its first day. Oh, I'm so drunk now. I'm done.
And so, yeah. 11 shots in that article
So
alone.
if you don't know, obviously Valkyrie Investments is the second futures ETF that came out. The third one just came out yesterday. Which one was it? I already forgot. I gotta look it up. I'll look it up right now while you take the next one. Go ahead.
Alrighty. U.S. government auctioning off $300,000 worth of Bitcoin. This is what, 6 Bitcoin? 5 Bitcoin? U.S. government is, article is written by Stephen Graves. The U.S. government is auctioning off over 300,000, that won't even buy you a house, worth of Bitcoin this week. General Services Administration, GSA, is currently hosting an online auction of 4.92 Bitcoin worth. Right, I just said it, at the current price of Bitcoin. The auction is split across 5 lots, bidding set to close at 5 p.m. Central Time on October 28th, tomorrow. The smallest lot available is 0.44 Bitcoin, worth just under $26,000, while the largest lot is 1.5 Bitcoin, worth a rough $90,000 at current prices. At the time of going to the press. Anybody go to the press at like 6 p.m. anymore? The highest bids are a slight discount to the price of Bitcoin, with all the winning bids currently totaling $283,230. This isn't the first time the U.S. government has auctioned off Bitcoin, with GSA arranging auctions of Bitcoin in March and April this year. In the former occasion, a single lot of 0.75 Bitcoin was purchased for $53,104, 21% premium on the then current price of Bitcoin. On the
What?
latter, yeah, somebody bought it for too much, right? On the latter, the 11 lots amounting to 9.5 9.45 Bitcoin were sold for roughly half a million at a significant discount. At the then price, a Bitcoin would be fetched around $520,000 on the market today. The U.S. government has conducted several big ticket sales in the past. In February of 2020, it sold off 4,000 Bitcoin worth $37 million. That had been forfeited in the federal criminal, civil, and administrative cases. Probably the most memorable such auction was 2014, when 30,000 Bitcoin, then worth $20 million, seized from dark web places like Silk Road, were put up for sale by the U.S. Marshals, with venture capitalist Tim Draper scooping up most of the Bitcoin for an undisclosed price. At today's prices, Draper's haul would be worth about $1.7 billion, which I'm sure he realized would happen. Indeed, over the years, the U.S. government has lost billions of dollars by auctioning off Bitcoin that subsequently increased in value. Because they're idiots. Because that's our government for you. Look who the last president was.
It just feels a little weird buying Bitcoin from the government. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's only weird because it's assets, right? They don't treat it as, they don't really know its value. They don't understand it. I mean, maybe somebody in the government does, but they're not allowed to take it because that would be illegal, right? So.
If it's like buying anti-government money from the government.
From the government. But like I said, they don't think of it as money. They think of it as an asset, so.
Yeah.
Like, here's this car that was owned by a drug lord. You want it? All right, here's $4,000. Yeah, they probably paid $50 for it, but we don't care because we're just trying to get rid of it.
All right, now I just wanted to plug
So
this
our
in real quick.
next article.
I just wanted to plug this in real quick.
Go for
The Bitcoin futures ETF, the three companies so far is ProShares, Valkyrie, and Van Eck. That just came out yesterday. All right, that's it.
Cool, you found it.
Cool. Our next article is by Scott Cipollina, and it's Bitcoin drops below $60,000 for the first time in 10 days. Yep, that's pretty much it. That's the article. Don't need to read into it. We've already been talking about this several times. Thank you, Scott Cipollina, for the wonderful content.
We're kind of going backwards because we read from the most latest news to the oldest news, so I kind of just rewrote it and did a different article.
All right, where am I at? Which one's next?
Well, let Mike have another one since he technically didn't get to read an article.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
This next article is also by Scott Cipollina, and it's about British police seize $2.7 million worth of Bitcoin from a teenager.
Oof.
I'm stoked on this one. It's going to be a good article. British police have seized $2.7 million worth of Bitcoin from a 17-year-old boy who has not been identified for legal reasons in England. The boy set up a fake website as part of what was described as a sophisticated cyber fraud. He used $8,900 worth of stolen vouchers to buy Bitcoin. He was given a 12-month rehabilitation order by the London Crown Court.
Okay.
The fake website set up by the teenager in April 2020 was a near carbon copy of Love to Shop, a website that sells gift cards and vouchers. People were duped into clicking on his website thinking they were accessing the official site, said Sam Skinner, prosecutor of the case. The police investigation found a total of 48 Bitcoin and a share of other cryptocurrencies, over 12,000 credit card numbers on the teenager's computer, and the details of additional 197 PayPal accounts.
Wow.
He admitted to the charges of money laundering and fraud, and the judge, Katarina Knight, said that if he were an adult, he would be going inside. This is not the first time Bitcoin has made its way into the British court system. In March of this year, 5 individuals were charged with a $27 million Bitcoin fraud case. The case lasted almost 2 years and saw 5 individuals make use of a loophole in a company called CoinSport, operated by Australian firm Casey Block Services, to commit the fraud. This has been a long-running investigation involving a vast amount of money, millions of pounds, said prosecutor Malcolm Isherwood at the time. In April, 2 men were jailed after using dark websites to purchase cocaine from South America and trade that earned them $4.8 million. So this is just a bunch of different thefts in one article.
Yeah, it is
But
kind of
wow,
interesting.
12 months for that level of a scam?
Bro, do you know how much money they probably dumped out just to make that happen? Millions. I bet you it was millions. Like, they probably... It probably... No. It's stupid. It's stupid. I think when you have
It's so
blockchain
good.
technology, can't you just trace it? Like, that's what it's there for, right? I don't get it.
I love their description of what the kid did. A sophisticated cyber fraud. He copied a website and set up a bunch of accounts. That's not sophisticated.
It's super
I mean,
sophisticated.
it's kind of sophisticated. You know, he got $2.7 million out of it.
Man, that guy, that kid, he's gonna be something when he grows up someday.
Oh,
That's what
for
he does,
sure, for sure. The amount of dopamine he got in from those thefts, and he's going to get probation,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy.
And what-
You know what? The government better scoop him up and give him a job
Hey,
stat.
I was gonna
Because
say
if he
that.
goes private sector,
I was gonna say that. Yeah,
What?
that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Don't just leave him in the system. Pick him up and give him a good job and
That's
have him
right.
fight as a white hat
Exactly.
against all the other black
I
hats.
bet you the CIA is gonna pick him up for sure.
Or maybe the equivalent in the British system, but yeah.
Yeah, true. All right, let's see what we got. 1-inch surges of 100% to all-time highs, and that's that. Written by Scott Cipollino. Thank you. All right, next news article written by Andrew Hayward. Crypto advocates protest gatekeeper Valve's NFT game ban on Steam. Okay, I want to read this. Let's see.
yeah, we should talk about this one too.
Yeah, written by Andrew Hayward. Steam. Obviously, you guys know about Steam. You play games on Steam. If you have a Steam account. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Steam is the largest digital marketplace for PC games, but it won't be where you find blockchain-based games with NFT assets or cryptocurrency integrations right now. Recently, the marketplace banned any games with NFT or crypto elements, but a number of crypto games developers and Web3 advocates are now pushing back against the decision. Today, digital right group Fight for the Future posted an open letter to Valve imploring the Steam creator and game developers to not ban crypto-fueled games from its marketplace. Joining the Fight for the Future in the initiative are NFT gaming infrastructure platform Engine and the Blockchain Game Alliance (BGA), as well as 26 blockchain game studios. The BGA itself represents dozens of members, including major game publisher Ubisoft, Ethereum Layer 2 scaling solution Polygon, the Sandbox publisher Animoca Brands, and Atari. Valve Web3 games are a fast-moving and exciting category of games that have a place within the Steam ecosystem. The letter reads, "Please consider changing your stance on this issue and permit tokens, and more broadly, the use of blockchain tech on the Steam platform. Don't ban blockchain-based games on Steam." The co-signer hoped, you know what? Actually, what do you think, Jake? This is actually a really nice article in comparison to the last one. That was, remember from the last podcast we did? That one was brutal.
Yeah. It's good to see that the companies are fighting for this because it's I get how to put it together. I get how Steam is concerned because the typification of how games end up kind of ruining a market, especially when it's based on real markets. Like they're talking about doing that with Fortnite, and because what do you do with Fortnite? You can buy skins for the most part, but if you are allowed to buy your way into skill sets, you kind of ruin the game. I mean, this is what happened with Blizzard's Diablo. At one point, people were just, it became a marketplace to farm the game and cheat as much as possible just to make money in the real world. And it's not saying Steam's wrong, but if they can if they can let people like put their own game, like, oh yeah, it's on Steam, but it's their own thing. It's not Steam thing. I get it's sketch. I don't know how to put it any other way for me.
I've seen some pretty sketch games on Steam before where it's like, ooh.
So you think?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Do you think there should be like a Steam DeFi or Steam Dex?
For sure. I'm actually pro this. I think Steam should fight blockchain till the bitter end. Because if they don't, we're going to be in some weird kind of limbo where people want to put their games through Steam, and that's going to really hinder a lot of decentralized growth in other platforms.
Interesting. Let me continue on real quick. Let's see here. Steam instituted a ban earlier this month, updating its developer terms to state that creators shouldn't publish games or applications that are built on blockchain technology that issues or allows exchanges of cryptocurrencies or NFTs. The developers of Age of Rust, an upcoming blockchain-based adventure game, broke the news on October 14th, tweeting that it could no longer publish on Steam due to its updated regulations. Valve has yet to explain the decision, and representatives did not respond to Decrypt's request for comment. Well, there you go. All right. Yeah, definitely get like a Steam decentralized marketplace going. I would love to see that.
We need to see an equivalent of Steam. It was a DAO, you know?
Yeah.
A Steam DAO. It would be, you can publish on this marketplace as long as you hold the token. It's not up to Steam.
Engine.
Right. But I'm just saying it would be determined by whether or not you were participating in that engine or participating in that, that's stated. So.
All right. Is that?
It could work.
Are we good? Anything else?
Yep.
Anything else looks good on here from yesterday or the day before? Let's see here. Ethereum supply on pace to shrink after ETH 2.0 upgrade. Economist DeFi Rabbit Hole cover NFT sales for $419,000 in Ethereum. Robinhood crypto revenue falls 78% as Dogecoin frenzy wears off. We need to allow banks to hold Bitcoin. FDIC chair. Tesla confirms it Tesla confirms it may in the future resume accepting Bitcoin. SEC filing. Bored 8 Yacht Club Ethereum NFT breaks records with $3.4 million in sales. Helium taps Dish Networks for crypto-powered 5G rollout.
I know, that sounds like something fun to be interested in.
Go ahead. Take it away, Jake.
Helium taps Dish Networks for crypto-powered 5G rollout. This is something I'm very much interested in. We are slightly invested in. I will, as I said before in the disclaimer, none of this is financial advice, but this channel is somewhat involved in this concept. So, crypto startup Helium showed that a user-run wireless network can be bootstrapped with token rewards, with its original Internet of Things network now boasting more than 250,000 active nodes. Now it aims to do the same thing with 5G connectivity in partnership with infrastructure provider FreedomFi and mobile service and TV provider Dish Network has signed up to help. Today, Dish Network announced a deal with Helium, enabling Dish wireless customers to share a 5G wireless service by running a Helium node. Oh my goodness, that means you could sign up for Dish and actually get a 5G wireless Helium node? That would be pretty awesome. And earn the network's HNT reward token in return, which means you might be actually not paying anything for your Dish network services.
Interesting.
Dish understands the potential blockchain can have on the wireless industry and is the first major carrier to join the People's Network. Sounds weirdly communistic. This partnership is real validation that the HNT incentive model is a powerful tool for deploying infrastructure at scale, Helium COO Frank Mong told Decrypt. Together with Dish and FreedomFi, well, it says two words right there, he continued, Helium 5G will have a much broader reach where the customer benefits from the flywheel of network incentives and the application it enables. Helium's first long-fi network was designed exclusively to power IoT devices such as sensors and trackers, and as mentioned, it now has more than 250,000 user-operated nodes deployed around the world. The company says that another 500,000 nodes are back-ordered. We know, suggesting significant additional scale to on the horizon. That network wasn't designed to handle devices like smartphones, tablets, laptops, but the new 5G network created with the partnership with FreedomFi will. Similarly, users will deploy the 5G nodes and collectively create the distributed network and service will earn HNT crypto tokens, which can be swapped for other cryptocurrencies in exchange. Mong told Decrypt that FreedomFi is now shipping the first batch of compatible 5G wireless nodes for Helium's network, and he predicts that as many as 40,000 of his nodes to be deployed by the end of 2022, depending on demand. Other hardware makers are also working on the 5G nodes, which plan to be announced in the coming months. Now remember, this is 5G 5th generation, which doesn't necessarily mean it's a particular frequency. It's just the 5th generation. It's not, explicit speeds. H&T has seen a dramatic rise in the price over the course of 2021, starting the year at about $1.36 a coin, according to CoinGecko, and hitting an all-time high of $26.43 in August. Currently, it's worth about $21 as of this writing. Helium announced a $111 million funding round in August, led by Andreessen Horowitz, to further the scale of decentralized network plans. In September, Helium revealed a partnership with the city of San Jose, which we read in this podcast, California, for a pilot program to fund internet access for low-income households via fundraised by volunteer-operated long-fi nodes. In any case, my commentary therefore on this is, you know how you guys are paying a lot of money for 5G services on T-Mobile, Verizon, and/or AT&T? Imagine not paying hardly anything except using AT&T token to get it, and actually being able to get service where you are. That depend on your damn network. Oh, look, T-Mobile doesn't work here. Great. What am I paying you guys for?
Mm-hmm. You know, I'm kind
We
of
should
curious.
talk more about this on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should definitely talk about this on the Crypto Channel chat. That's absolutely right.
We got to get M back on the podcast for that. I'm kind of curious for San Jose. So since I live here, I drive around. I see things, obviously, right? I have to have my eyes open while I'm driving. And I did notice that there's new antennas being attached to streetlights. And I wonder if those are the helium antennas.
Probably not. They're probably Verizon. But the 5G's range is roughly 300 meters, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It's either 300 feet or 300 meters. Obviously, 300 meters is 1,000 feet, so it's probably 300 feet. It's relatively short, and it's mostly line of sight. It depends on whether or not you're talking about 5G that T-Mobile is using or 5G that Verizon is using. T-Mobile's frequency, I believe, is 600 megahertz, or 800, somewhere between 600 and 800, and then the one that Verizon is using is, I think, 5.8 gigahertz. Might be higher than that. I don't remember exactly. I just know that the problem with the higher speeds of the 5G, I mean, it's not the higher speeds themselves. It's what frequency you're using. If you're using a really high frequency that's gigahertz based, then if anything gets physically in the way of that signal, you have no signal. Mm-hmm. So that's the reason that the range is so much shorter, is you need to have line of sight for it to work properly.
Yeah. All right. What do you think? You want to wrap it up? I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Cool. With that said, actually, Jake, go ahead.
Yeah. I just want to remind everybody that we really appreciate your patronage, and if you will appreciate our patronage, you can sign up for Patreon, because we now have a platform for that. We also have a website, which is c3media.tech. You guys can check that out and see pretty much everything that we have mentioned there as well. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe and help us out with the algorithm of YouTube, and hit the notification bell if you hear this every Wednesday and Sunday. That's also true for Anchor and every other podcast platform that Anchor distributes with. And if you appreciate, please donate to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance, or Basic Attention Token. All the links in the description below.
All right, Cryptonauts. With that said, until next time, stack sats and hodl. Adios.